My name is Nicholas Anderson. I am Spanish, I would say. I was born in Britain, but grew up in Spain. And I arrived in Bishkek about 3 years ago now. I am an ex-MACAS student. So I'm currently working in NGA, which is a department here at the UCA. I am working as an instructor of basically the English language. I'm also working with another program funded by the US, which is called Study with US. And this is more focused on educational soft skills and critical thinking and so on. As far as my expectations being met, it is more or less what I expected. I'd been a student here at UCA for 2 years, and then I started working as an instructor here, so I knew the system, I knew how it worked, I knew everybody, almost everybody here. And yes, it's exactly what I expected. It is a very rewarding position to have. I get to work with around 200-300 students every day, and it's a fantastic position to be in at the moment. So my selection of this degree might not be the most typical one, because I was lucky enough to travel with my parents in the region when I was very young, when I was about 5, 6. And they were actually professors at the university as well. So when I finished my bachelor's back home in Spain, I was kind of consulting with them and saying, you know, what do you think would be a good step for me next? You know, I did a BA in international relations, and that's very broad, I loved it, it was fantastic. But I felt that I wanted to do something more specific. And I was considering South America, I was considering different places. And my parents just looked at me and said, hey, we used to work at this university in Bishkek. You've actually been there when you were young, although you don't remember. And we think it'd be a very good fit. And it actually was, because I'd already been studying Russian for about a year. And it was two kind of branches of my life overlapping. The fact that I'd been here and the fact that I wanted to study Russian, but also it's the perfect place to come and to get to know the region. And AUCA offers that perfect Western education, but getting to know the region very well, which is just perfect for foreigners who are interested in Central Asia. Everything I know about the local culture, basically. I came here and I spoke very little Russian, and I understand how the politics work here to a certain extent. I know a lot about the history, the culture and so on, and I got all that through MACAS, which is just brilliant, because then I moved on and I've actually stayed here. I learned about it so much and I liked it so much that I decided to stay and continue my life here. When I was studying here, it was of course a lot of work, because it's quite demanding, especially MACAS, but it was good fun. I came every day. I spent a lot of time on campus, probably 9-10 hours a day. Have 4 hours of class, then I'd have lunch here with my classmates, then we would do some research here on campus. And then as a teacher, it's almost a reverse role. You get to know much more the inside, how the university works. You don't just sit there. For example, it's the difference, I think, between being a kid who sits down at the table when his mum or his father has cooked the meal, and you actually being the one that cooks the meal. When you become a teacher, you get to understand how well the university actually works. We studied at MACAS, for example, we studied sociology, culture, history, the economics, the politics of the region, the international relations of the region, which means that I'm fairly well versed in all these different spheres. But at the same time, I can't go and apply to be a lawyer somewhere. Even though I've studied Central Asian law, I wouldn't be able to be a historian, well, possibly a historian, but I wouldn't be able to be a politician, because I don't know enough about the politics of the region, although I did study it in broad terms. But that's also a privilege, because it means that I could potentially apply to all these jobs, and could potentially, I have a platform that I could build on to apply to all these jobs. As far as myself, I'm looking into working in NGOs at the moment, because being an expert on the region and knowing so many different parts, it's practically the best sphere that I could work in. First of all, and this sounds very nostalgic, enjoy it. It lasts 2 years and then you will miss it. Even though it seems very difficult during the study process, you have all these readings and all these papers and so on to do. It's very enjoyable and you'll miss it afterwards. The minute you stop, you fall behind, but the minute you stop, you lose that momentum that you had of 1 week you miss it, and then it's really difficult to get back up on that horse. Yeah, I would keep consistency with it while enjoying your experience, basically. It's a fantastic degree to take. I really enjoyed it. Join Borders Without Knowledge with MACAS.